So I was at Fountain Creek Nature Center on February 1st, last Friday. Here is a pond, and I was checking out the water. There's a sign with some of the fish that were in this pond. It was a public fishing pond in this area, and there were quite a few geese hanging out on the ice. As I was walking over, they started walking towards me. I think maybe they thought I had food for them. It's kind of intimidating having all these geese charge at you. This was a really neat tree that had grown down towards the water. I'm not quite sure what the geese were doing here, but it made a really cool noise when they were all tapping their beaks on the water. So this is pretty close actually to the entrance of the nature center, and they have a few bird feeding areas. There were quite a few birds out.
You think we could go inside and...
This is a mullein plant. It's a plant from Europe that's kind of a noxious pest over here, but it's known as the lungs of the earth, and you can take the leaves from it and do like a steam with it, and I use that when I have a cough. And those tall branches that you saw, or the tall stalk, birds eat the seeds from those in the winter, so it does serve a purpose here. This is kind of a helpful sign, just explaining about the water cycle and mountain runoff in the different areas. There's a little bit of the backside of Pikes Peak. You don't usually get a view of the mountain from that perspective, so it's kind of neat. And this is about the main feature of the nature center, is this body of water right here. There's not a ton of lakes in Colorado, so anytime we get a still patch of water there, it's pretty exciting. There's a little sign that has an etiquette of animal watching, just some different things to keep in mind. This is kind of a wetlands area. That's another mullein plant in its first year cycle, and this is a sign telling us to be on the lookout for evidence of beavers. We didn't see a beaver, but we did see a little bit further in the video an area where it looked like there had been some beaver activity. So this is, like I said, the main feature of the park and the biggest body of water. There's quite a few different smaller water areas. I was kind of curious what those little green seeds or leaves were in there.
Where does it return?
The
whole area, yeah. Where do you think it's the thickest? I think maybe over here.
The Fountain Creek Nature Center is south of Colorado Springs in a town called Fountain. It's really all connected geographically, but it is outside of the city proper. Here. And just next to the Nature Center is I-25. It's the major highway that will take you north and south. So there's a lot of traffic noise, car noise from the highway that you can hear at the Nature Center, which kind of takes away from the ambiance a little bit. Cars going north towards Denver, and then you can keep taking I-25 up to Wyoming, or south would be a couple hours to the New Mexico border. And this is where we thought that there might have been some beaver activity. built up right there. So some beavers have been hard at work. And then it's really just kind of, I don't know, swampy in there. It's not very free flowing right now. A lot of reeds and stuff.
Yeah, I'm sick, so I can
This is not
Well,
a
it looks
nature
like
center
there's
I've only been to
few
once before in the fall
human
with my
footprints
girls,
right
so I
there.
haven't
Maybe
seen it
people
in the
testing
spring or
the
summer.
ice, and then some animal tracks. Do you think that's maybe a dog and some birds
Colorado
or
Springs
something?
is considered a high
Or maybe
desert
not a dog,
region,
I don't know.
so it's pretty
Goes off that way.
dry and not a lot of green. There's some tracks. We weren't sure who might have been out there on the ice. This is just a view of the trail and some of the bigger trees along the path. The Fountain Creek Nature Center is very different than the nature center that's on the west side of town. That's got a much more mountainous feel to it. It's just right off the base of Pikes Peak. That's the Bear Creek Nature Center. This is a plant I was thinking a little bit of the flower has a really fragrant smell to it. It's kind of a herbal pine smell. I was surprised at how fragrant such a small plain looking plant could be. I was interested in how this tree had grown quite a few different directions. I think all these trees around here are cottonwood trees. As I was getting just the color of the soil in Colorado Springs, it's a really red clay soil. I saw a hawk or a falcon flying through this open area. I suspect he was doing some hunting. Now this tree over here they call the grandfather cottonwood, and the sign up says that he's over 150 years old. It's a really neat tree. To be up by it in person, it was hard to kind of capture all of it from my phone, but you can see where it's been damaged, and he's kind of repaired himself, and he just keeps hanging in there. Looks like a large trunk had fallen off at some point. But this is also very much a central feature of the Nature Center. That's my son Jamin. He wasn't feeling that well that day, so I picked him up early from school and told him I had some homework to go do, so it was kind of fun. We got to spend the afternoon together. This is a plant, and I'm going to have to look up the name of it, but it is, here's you can see an area where it had kind of taken over. It's very noxious. It had been brought, I believe, by European settlers that used it to card wool with. And I don't think that's an activity that's going on often now. My son had spotted some deer over here, so I was kind of trying to
They blend in so well.
get them in view. Here they are over there. I think there was about 4 deer, and 3 of them were sitting down, 1 was standing up, and they seemed to be very comfortable with us observing them, and they were observing us. They didn't seem to be in a hurry to scoot off. There's a lot of deer in the city here, so they're pretty used to humans. This is a really neat kind of tree dwelling that had been built. Probably be a good place to do my environmental science homework. And here I was just noting the snow and how quickly a lot of it was melting in the thinner areas. And here my son and I were kind of at the end of the trail that loops back around, and they had built a fun feature there to climb on. I got in on the action. I like doing things like that with my kids. And yeah, we had a really lovely afternoon at the Fountain Creek Nature Center. I think Some of the animals we saw, like I said, was the hawk, the deer. We saw some squirrels, the geese. Not a lot of bugs out in Colorado wintertime.